What is good, YouTube? It is your boy Anime Double Hunt. I hope everyone's having an awesome day. Man, we got an awesome chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. This was a phenomenal chapter. I really enjoyed it. And we finally got a conclusion to our battle between Higurama and Yuji. Based on the speculation from last week's chapter, it was a conclusion that many fans expected. And to be honest, I'm really satisfied. I really enjoyed how this battle came to an end. I can't wait to see what we do with Higurama going forward. I hope he stays an ally with us, and I hope he stays with us till the end of the series. And I also have a little speculation as to if Higurama hypothetically stays alive till the end of the series. What's his role in the Jujutsu Society going to be? But before we get into all that, the intro. If you are new to Anime Double Hunter, welcome. Here on this channel we cover all sorts of awesome Jujutsu Kaisen content, weekly reviews, character explain videos, analysis, soon to be arc analysis coming soon, ability explain videos, and more. So definitely subscribe and join the family. Drop a like if you end up enjoying the video, and definitely comment down below your thoughts on the chapter and what's to come in the upcoming future chapters. Now with that being said, let's begin. So we started chapter off with a flashback of Higuramu, and this is Higurama in his days as a law apprentice, and he's speaking to his senior, Yoshizawa-san. Higurama says to him, I already submitted my proposal earlier. Yoshizawa-san then says, oh no, that's not it. I've used your draft earlier. It's splendid. We could even use it as to make it a verdict. He adds, if I remember correctly, you were aspiring to become either a prosecutor or a lawyer. Higurama then says yes. Yoshizawa-san then offers Higurama another option. He says, how about become a judge? We then jump back to the present and we see Judgment going crazy. He's screaming guilty, confiscation, death penalty. We then see Higurama gets the executioner swords, which looks pretty awesome. We then find out that the heaviest sentence that Judgment can enforce is death penalty, supplemented with confiscation. We then also find out that while confiscation disables his opponent's curse technique, in Yuji's case, curse energy, because he doesn't have curse technique, Higurama is granted the executioner sword. Being slayed by the executioner sword will result in death for no exception. So this is Higurama's super attack and one shot. We then dive into what Higurama is thinking as his fight with Yuji goes on. He thinks empathizing with someone's heart means you understand a person's flaws. A victim's flaw, an assailant's flaw, day after day after day. I've been sick and tired of it, so we can dive a little bit more into, Higurama. Higurama then adds, hideous. I come to think that whenever I approach someone, he then says to Yuji, you're no exception, Todori. All people are flawed and hideous, and no matter how noble a soul you wish to have. So this is definitely the part of the chapter where I started thinking, okay, there's a possible chance that the fandom's theory as to Higurama realizing that Yuji was not the one that killed all those people in Shibuya is actually coming true. As we see, Higurama starting to have a little conflict, because in the previous chapter and the one before, Higurama's mind was one track. It was to kill Yuji and go about his day. Now, he's starting to have a little bit of conflict. In the next panel, Higurama screams to Yuji, you won't find anything more than that. The darkness lying before your eyes is nothing more than darkness. Even if you ignite a light, a brilliant void will once again be sprawled out ahead of you. During this moment, Yuji runs behind the set chairs and starts flinging them at Higurama. I'm telling you, Yuji's letting them fly. Higurama of course dodges all of them because Higurama was just a goat, and he just starts cutting chairs. Yuji then hides behind one of the chairs and he takes off his jacket and he attempts to blind Higurama with it and sweep Higurama's legs. But Higurama actually jumps and he dodges, and then we see both of them get ready to land a blow on each other. Yuji's trying to punch Higurama. Higurama's trying to hit Yuji with the executioner sword. But before we could see how these blows plan out, we dive a little bit more into Higurama's flashback as an apprentice. Higurama says to Yoshizawa-san, I'm sorry, I will not become a judge. And Yoshizawa-san's like, okay, let me hear your reasoning. Higurama doesn't actually tell him what he's thinking, which was all people are flawed and hideous. Instead, he says, I'm not interested in promotion, so I'm not suited for it. We then find out that by that time, at least up until then, he believed this impurities that's not present in other organisms is something that should be cherished. He then thinks, why Itadori Yuji? Why did you admit to that crime? We then found out that the evidence submitted by Judgment is actually shared with Higurama himself before it is open, and the submitted evidence was about the demon inside of Yuji, which was Sukuna. He then adds, you didn't kill them, then why? And right before Higurama could hit Yuji with the executioner swords, he stops the attack, and Yuji actually lands an attack and sends Higurama flying. I mean, my boy Yuji could pack a punch. So it's at this moment of the chapter we realize he doesn't just want to kill Yuji, he wants to make things fair for people like Yuji. Following this, Yuji asks Higurama why'd he stop. Higurama then says, Penal Code Article 39, Section 1. If a person lacks cognitive ability or capacity of control, they are considered non-compos mentis. I did a little bit of Google search, and I found out that actually means if a person's not sane or has a mental problem. He then adds, you had your body taken over by Sukuna at Shibuya. You're just like, wait, how'd you know that? Higurama then adds, meaning you had no control over your actions. Plus, you didn't willingly give up control either, which means you're innocent. You're not at fault. Yuji then says, and this part definitely got to me. He says, but still, it's my fault. It's because I'm weak. Higurama then says, is that so? Yuji then says, Higurama, why did you deactivate your curse technique earlier? Higurama then says, I went back to my roots, Itadori. People who are as weak as you are probably still around. He then tells Yuji to put on some clothes and sit down. He'll give him his 100 points. The two sit down. Yuji's like, okay, where's my hoodie? He finds it. Yuji puts on his hoodie. Higurama then asks Yuji, have you ever killed someone out of your own volition? To which Yuji replies, I have, which volition means out of your own free will, you know. In the final panel, Higurama says, I see. That must have felt the worst. As we get open into a possible flashback of Higurama. So we're about to dive more into Higurama. Yo, Higurama's been a phenomenal character. Earlier in the video, I did say I talk about possible speculation. I mean, it's not a theory, but you know, it's just something I'd hope for Higurama moving forward, given that he's alive by the end of the series. I think it'd be really cool for Higurama to become the judgment of Jujutsu Society, considering Jujutsu Society is a fucking wreck. It's fucking terrible. It's a goddamn mess. And Higurama declined the opportunity to become a judgment at first. So I think this time he'd become a judgment and he'd make things fair for people like Yuji, you know, or Maki. I think that'd be pretty dope. And I think that also give Higurama a second chance, considering, you know, things didn't end too well as him being a lawyer for the regular human world. And if you guys remember, Higurama declined the opportunity to become a judgment. So this time he'll get his chance at becoming a judgment and he could make things right. Now moving forward, we have a break next week. But you know, I think we're going to get a little bit more of a Higurama flashback. Higurama's going to give Yuji the 100 points. They're going to add the rule. But I think we're going to dive back to Megumi at the end of the next chapter. At the end of 167, I think we're going to dive back into Megumi, Remy, and that dude. And I think we're going to get a true death match. You know, this was originally a death match between Yuji and Higurama, but it didn't end that way. Megumi said it himself. He said, I don't mind getting 100 points. I'm not Itadori. And best believe he's definitely going to end up, he's definitely going to get, he's going to walk out with like, 200 points? Each person 100, so yeah, best believe Megumi's killing them both. You know, I think he's gonna lose himself for quite a bit, dive into a bit of his delirious self. I think that'd be pretty dope to see Megumi let loose for a bit. But anyway, guys, this was a W chapter. Most likely next week I might make a video regarding Higurama's philosophy. I'd love to make a video about Higurama, considering, you know, I think we just pretty much saw all of his abilities. I think that's pretty much it. So probably explaining his domain expansion, his abilities, his execution of swords. I think that'd be pretty dope. Possibly a whole entire video donated to his philosophy on like why he became the way he is. I think that'd be pretty dope. So I'll add that to the list. Anyways, man, what an awesome chapter. Jujutsu Kaisen has had a really great year, you know, and I think, you know, 2022 is gonna be even better. I think Jujutsu Kaisen might end up being the best-selling manga of 2021. You know, Demon Slayer and shit. But you know, Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, I think it might get it. I hope it gets it. Cause to be honest, Jujutsu Kaisen has been my favorite series all year. One Piece has been amazing. You know, don't get it twisted, but Jujutsu Kaisen, it takes the cake this year. Anyways, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Oh my god, man, drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Drop a like if you enjoyed the chapter. Comment down below your honest thoughts on the chapter, what you look forward to coming into the next one. Definitely hit the subscribe button for more content. And it is your boy Anime Double Hunter. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Have an awesome day.